575.
You are listening to Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Get Down to Business is brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can find them at everettwealthsolutions.com or call 708-771-7777. Joined by my friend Matt Sloan, first vice president at American Chartered Bank in Vernon Hills. Matt, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Shalom. Appreciate it.
You bet. So, Matt, tell us a little bit about the bank, and of course, tell us about your knowledge and experience in helping businesses grow.
Absolutely. So, American Chartered has been around for 28 years now, since 1987. We're the eighth largest bank in Illinois. So we're not the big boys. But we're also not the one-off community bank. We're right in the middle. And probably the biggest differentiating factor is the fact that we're privately held, and we're owned by the senior and key employees and bankers like myself, which is nice for business owners because they deal with an owner in the bank who isn't going anywhere, who has skin in the game, and gets to deal with business owners just like themselves.
Well, Matt, now that you tell me that you and other key employees in the bank are partial owners, can you give me a special tour and maybe a few handouts from the vault downstairs?
Sunday is the right day for that, so just give me a call a little later.
Okay, sounds good. So, Matt, if you don't mind, tell our listeners what kinds of people you and the other qualified professionals at American Chartered Bank are working with. Are you mostly working with small, big businesses? Tell us about your key group of customers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a very diverse portfolio. We work with really all types of companies. Companies that are $1 million in revenues, maybe even a few $100,000, up to companies that are probably close to $100 million in revenues. Lines of credit, term loans, mortgages. We just really like working with good companies that really appreciate a good banker and a good banking relationship.
And you are in Vernon Hills, if I understand correctly, but where else is American Chartered Bank located?
Sure. So we have 15 locations spread out throughout Chicago. So primarily our footprint is in the Chicagoland area, but we go up to Wisconsin, out to Indiana. But once again, we just like working with good companies, privately held, a lot of family-owned businesses, manufacturers, wholesalers, distribution companies, and really a ton of service providers as well, whether it's a payroll company, accounting firms, law firms.
So many of our listeners, Matt, are entrepreneurs that have an idea that they are trying to turn into a reality. Earlier in the show, we talked with Danielle Levitt about from Ready, Set, Risk, about how to take a little bit of risk. But risk in the world of banking might be a red flag when you talk to some other banks. What sort of things, what advice do you have for our listeners that are entrepreneurs that are thinking about trying to grow? What kind of things is a bank like yours looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the biggest recommendations that I provide, to my clients is make sure for every dollar that you earn, that you keep as much as you can in the business, and don't pull everything out. So if you make $1,000, don't pull out 1,001 and call it a day. Put that money back into the business and let it grow. The bank likes seeing that you're going to support the business, and the bank's willing to support you that much more. What
about record keeping? How important is that when it comes to financing your business?
Sure. I mean, I think it's great to have a strong accounting firm that's backing the company. So whether you have, your own internal QuickBooks, but at the end of the day, have a good accounting firm that's going to go in, and whether they provide compiled financials, reviews for maybe larger firms, some type of an audited financial statement. Just having a good accounting firm that's going to understand the books and records and help the business owner explain assets, liabilities, owner's equity, that's key.
How far back do you typically look when a business approaches you about a loan of some kind? How many years back do you want to see records?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we usually look for 3 years of financials. So whether it's a CPA-prepared financials or tax returns, that's typically what we look at. We're obviously, coming up in July, so halfway through the year, so we'll want to see a most recent interim financial statement as well, whether it's a March 31st, maybe even May year to date. So that's important to keep, monthly financials as well.
Oh, my goodness, halfway through the year. Businesses are growing, and certainly we hope that they talk to you. Matt, aside for being a fantastic banker, is also very involved in community. Matt, if you don't mind, tell our listeners about some of the nonprofit and business organizations that you and your colleagues are involved in.
I think it's very important to give back to the economy, not to the economy, but really just, the nonprofit world, whether it's religious, whether it's social, just to get involved. Many times good networking experiences come out of that. You develop good relationships, and you never know where the next client comes from. So by being able, to give back to the community and also develop relationships, before you know it, you're sitting next to your $100 million client.
Absolutely. It's something, but that's, I believe, how you and I met originally through what we always called networking, connecting, and it really does work. Matt Sloan of American Chartered Bank, we appreciate you joining us on the air, and we'll be sure to have you back on real soon. In the meantime, how can our listeners get a hold of you if they want to talk about banking or about networking and community, which you're so intimately involved in?
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. Would love to talk with any of your clients, listeners that are really looking for a good banking partner. So the best way to reach me is through our website, www.americancharter.com. My direct email is msloan@americancharter.com. And, once again, just looking to help people, someone that's looking to partner with them for the years to come.
Fantastic, Matt. We appreciate your time. After the break, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to determine if entrepreneurship is right for you. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR. Check them out, tandemhr.com, tandemhr.com. After the break, we're talking about entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business.